Prepare for a stunning uncover. Wendy Williams, the sovereign of all media herself, uncovers how Kevin Tracker constrained her into a psychological clinic. Did his activities trigger her well-being emergency? Are we seeing the defeat of Kevin Tracker without Wendy's cash, and was it his definitive play for Wendy's abundance? We should jump into this stunning adventure now. Greetings everybody, I'm Leah, and today we discuss the continuous saga including Wendy Williams, Kevin Tracker, and the unforeseen turn in this emotional story. It's obviously true that Wendy and Kevin's relationship has been filled with issues and charges, yet the furthest down the line part could leave you paralyzed. Wendy, the cherished moderator, was supposedly constrained into a psychological medical clinic, a demonstration coordinated by, in all honesty, her ex Kevin Tracker. Is this a frantic bid for control or a tangled plan to get Wendy's fortune? Expect then she was having something of an existential emergency. We'll likewise talk about the worries raised by Wendy's sibling Tommy about her prosperity in the midst of these stunning occasions, so prepare as we dive further into this stupefying VIP dramatization. All through the recent years, Wendy has confronted various difficulties in her day-to-day existence. Similarly, as we expected a positive change, another startling turn happened. The most recent report from The Sun uncovers that Wendy was as of late confessed to the clinic, delivered momentarily and afterward readmitted a day after the fact. An insider who addressed the distribution unveiled that Wendy at first entered the clinic roughly 14 days prior. She had a short delivery last end of the prior week. Returning there was a second when it appeared to be dubious if Wendy could conquer this difficulty. One more source referenced that Wendy's family realized about her hospitalization yet need explicit subtleties. The source expressed, at this point it's obvious that she is right now hospitalized and it's not for recovery. I'm uncertain which medical clinic she is in. Matching with her hospitalization, Wendy likewise dropped her appearance at the Atlanta Ladies exhibition, which raised further worries. On April 6, the Instagram record of the Atlanta Ladies exhibition advanced Wendy's booked appearance on May 20, depicting it as a selective chance to hear her voice. The post referenced free tickets were accessible to see her at the Cobb Galleria Center, where Wendy was set to get a significant charge of $25,000 for her two-day commitment. Anyway, a couple of days after the fact, Wendy's name was eliminated from the rundown of affirmed speakers. In a joint proclamation, Wendy's delegate and the Atlanta Ladies exhibition affirmed the crossing out, expressing, "We remorsefully illuminate you that Wendy Williams won't show up at a definitive ladies exhibition in Atlanta on May 20, 2023. After cautious thought, we've concluded it would be best for Wendy to join a definitive ladies exhibition sometime in the not-too-distant future." While they didn't give a report on Wendy's well-being, they referenced that a statement of regret video from Wendy would be communicated at the ex-medical clinic, corresponding with a wiping out in the midst of Wendy's excursion to recuperation. Insider sources uncovered that her group took part in serious consultations in regards to her well-being and her expected stage appearance. Hypotheses emerged about Wendy's capacity to perform, with worries mounting about her conflicting discourse designs. The inquiry waited, would she at any point recapture her previous self as a devoted fan? I, like endless others, enthusiastically anticipated Wendy's victorious return. Anyway, dissatisfaction consumed the space as gossipy tidbits about her hospitalization spread like quickly, yet Wendy's delegates quickly denied these cases, declaring that she neither entered the clinic nor stayed in New York. In opposition to the reports, howdy, I must be cheerful on the television each day live from strangely in the midst of this wild time. Somebody who could covertly expect Wendy's delayed recuperation is, as a matter of fact, Kevin Tracker, her previous life partner. As we are very much aware, Wendy had been liberally supporting Kevin through month-to-month alimony installments. And how about we dig into the lavish costs Kevin caused on his escort Sharina Hudson? Discussing Sharina, we should investigate her nervy endeavors, will we? On account of Wendy's monetary sponsorship, Kevin worked with Sharina's schooling as a back rub specialist, yet when that didn't work out, he went above and beyond and set up a booth for her in a clamoring North Carolina shopping center, her old neighborhood. In addition, Kevin assumed an essential part in sending off Sharina's own gems and dress line, suitably named Fish Gracious. Yet the story doesn't end there. Sharina likewise fiddled with land. In any event, posting her organization's location as her rich Morristown home, a property obtained utilizing Wendy's well-deserved cash. The tangled web wound by Wendy. Kevin and Serena keeps on disentangling, spellbinding the consideration of fans. Overall, will Wendy's well-being win? The truth will surface eventually. My companions Kevin and Wendy everlastingly and right up to the present day. It actually is perpetually. Doesn't mean I love, dislike, that affection don't leave when their past endeavors didn't yield the ideal outcomes. Kevin volunteered to lay out a vegetarian organization for Serena by subsidized with Wendy's well-deserved cash anyway. Once Wendy stopped facilitating her show, the progression of installments unexpectedly stopped. This provoked Kevin to make a lawful move and drag Wendy to court, requesting that she satisfy her monetary commitments as settled upon in their conjugal repayment understanding. In his supplication, Kevin professed to be vigorously dependent on the installments, underscoring that he had fallen behind on different bills. He uncovered his battles with mortgage holders, affiliation installments, neglected vehicle protection because of the shortfall of month-to-month severance installments, and mounting charge card obligation. Besides, Kevin declared that he needed health care coverage inclusion, leaving him unfit to manage the cost of fundamental hip medical procedure. As a result, he got through day-to-day torment, worsening his dilemma. The dauntlessness, all things considered. My companions genuinely shocking. Luckily, the adjudicator directing the case managed in support of Wendy, freeing her from the obligation to continue giving divorce settlement to Kevin. The appointed authority considered Kevin's solicitation as non-earnest, prompting its excusal without bias. Also, the adjudicator denied Kevin's request for Wendy to cover his lawyer expenses. Justifiably, Kevin was smoldering following this choice, which positively makes sense of his absence of warm words for Wendy's recuperation, yet stand by theirs all the more. Supposedly, Kevin's circumstance isn't all daylight and rainbows either. Late reports recommend that Serena, joined by her child, took a huge action back to her mom's home, raising hypotheses about a likely partition from Kevin, Eric's significant other. As the colloquialism goes, cash talks, and when monetary dependability falters, connections can veer off in a strange direction. While no authority proclamation has been delivered by either party, the supposed split just adds fuel to the conviction that Serena's contribution might have been essentially determined by monetary inspirations. This advancement makes certain to light intense conversations among inquisitive spectators. In another fascinating improvement, Wendy's sibling Tommy communicated his genuine worries subsequent to seeing Wendy's state during the shooting of her approaching narrative in Florida. Tommy, close by their old dad, endured a few days recording Wendy's excursion in April and became profoundly upset by what they noticed. Brownish openly shared, it became obvious that Wendy wasn't in the right outlook to set out on another show, and we will all demonstrate the veracity of this. He'd additionally uncovered his fear about Wendy's supervisor Will Selby apparently focusing on business acquires over Wendy's general prosperity. Tommy commented Will's persevering push for Wendy's contribution regardless of cognizance exclusively rotates around saving her standing anyway. Will the show genuinely mirror Wendy's present status, or will it simply grandstand her past? As conversations spin around the broad film Caught by the Truth series creation group, Tommy recognizes the clashing idea of its possible result. In spite of his dissatisfactions with the creation cycle, he holds no hostility towards his sister, confirming, I can't fault Wendy for any of this. All I need is for her to completely recuperate. Since Wendy's process isn't finished at this point, I can't hold on to any displeasure towards her. Communicating his interests, Tommy considers the ramifications the narrative might have on Wendy's future prosperity, scrutinizing the need of remembering such testing minutes if Wendy somehow happened to accomplish wonderful advancement. He ponders, imagine a scenario in which Wendy's improving when the narrative is at last delivered. Who might need to return to these recollections? Wouldn't she be able to have completely mended and afterward left on another task? Now is the ideal time to earlier focus on Wendy's recuperation as opposed to take advantage of her weakness in this steadily developing adventure. Wendy's process keeps on enrapturing consideration, leaving fans and pundits enthusiastically looking for her victorious revisitation of the spotlight. I ain't no one again to converse with, except for the times currently were much more profound, yet Wendy's new explanations make what is happening a little more clear from within. In a new meeting, Wendy strongly expressed that her ex Kevin Tracker assumed a critical part in coordinating her hospitalization despite her desire to the contrary. She underlined that Kevin's expectations were established in applying command over her and smothering her voice, which had for some time been a wellspring of strengthening for her dedicated crowd. Besides, Wendy uncovered that during her time in the psychological clinic she felt disconnected and controlled. She guaranteed that Kevin utilized different strategies to restrict her correspondence with the rest of the world, venturing to such an extreme as to seize her telephone and limit her admittance to guests. These upsetting disclosures portray Wendy's experience, bringing up issues about the lengths Kevin was able to go to quiet her and keep up with his hang on a turbulent relationship. Additionally, Wendy unveiled that her visit in the psychological clinic was set apart by a progression of disrupting occurrences organized by Kevin.